Meeting of the Mayor and Board of Trustees for the Village of Woodridge this Thursday, August 5th, 2021. The time is, I'm going to ask our 7:04 for our official time read. We welcome everyone and ask our clerk to please call the roll.
Present.
Present.
Present. Present. Present.
Present.
Present. Thank you very much. If you would please join us in a moment of silence as we dedicate tonight's meeting in honor of all of our neighbors, helping neighbors, our volunteers throughout Woodridge, our Woodridge Kiwanis and Rotary clubs, along with all of the other clubs that have joined hands in helping our neighbors through this very difficult time, to all of our local churches near and far, the West Suburban Community Pantry, our business community, our agency partners helping with our long-term recovery. And please know that our thoughts and care remain with everyone that has been impacted in our community and all of our neighbors throughout Woodridge and our neighbors to each of our boundary lines. Woodridge strong. Take just a moment of silence, please. Now, if you would please join us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, which I'm going to ask the League of Women Voters who is here this evening, if they would please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance this evening.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. This evening, under special awards and presentations and recognition, we do have two special recognition items this evening. The first is a proclamation which I've asked Trustee Blair to read for us, celebrating the 100th anniversary of the League of Women Voters of Downers Grove, Woodridge, Lisle. And their anniversary is, we're going to date the proclamation from August 9th, 2021 through August 8th, 2022. Trustee Blair.
Whereas the League of Women Voters of Downers Grove, Woodridge, Lisle is celebrating 100 years of its founding this year. And whereas the League of Women Voters of Downers Grove, Woodridge, Lisle is a nonpartisan political organization encouraging citizen active participation in government by influencing public policy through education and advocacy. And whereas the League of Women Voters of Downers Grove was established on August 9th, 1921, and held their first meeting as early as October 21st, 1921, with 4 officers and 3 directors at large. Woodridge became part of said organization in 1976. And whereas for the past 100 years, the League of Women Voters of Downers Grove, Woodridge, Lisle has been dedicated to empowering citizens and helping to shape their communities for the better through promoting positive solutions to public policy issues. And whereas Woodridge and its surrounding communities have benefited from the League of Women Voters of Downers Grove, Woodridge, Lisle's efforts for the past 100 years in voter registration, education, and promoting citizen participation in democracy. And whereas we, Woodridge, congratulate the League of Women Voters of Downers Grove, Woodridge, Lisle for the 100th anniversary and look forward to the 100th anniversary celebration, which would take place on August 8th, 2021 at Hummer Park in Downers Grove. Now, therefore, Gina Cunningham, Mayor of the Village of Woodridge, DuPage, Will, and Cook Counties, Illinois, in celebration of Women Voters of Downers Grove, Woodridge, Lisle's distinguished 100 years of success, does hereby declare and proclaim the year of August 9th, 2021 through August 8th, 2022 as the League of Women Voters of Downers Grove, Woodridge, Lisle year in the village of Woodridge and urge all residents and organizations to support the worthy endeavor of the excellent advocacy works and political empowerment provided by the League of Women Voters of Downers Grove, Woodridge, Lisle, contributing to the outstanding reputation of our community.
And I have the actual proclamation here before us. So that's okay. You want to share it with everyone? Mary, please. It is a privilege for us to honor this for you, but
I'm too short to go. I'll just go right here. The podium? No, this is fine.
Just remember to identify yourself for the record.
Okay, thank you so much. We are all honored. I'm Mary Holbein. I am the current president of the League of Women Voters of Downers Grove, Woodridge, and Lisle, and I am also a 30-year resident of Woodridge. As are three of our past presidents who are with me here tonight, Peg, Donna, and Eileen, and several of our members who have been very active in the league. And I would also like to thank everyone for the wonderful job of dealing with the tornado we had recently. So in 1921, when this league was founded, Woodridge didn't even exist. But as you can see, our Woodridge contingent has been quite active since then. We've done voter registration. We've done public events on issues. We've done candidate events. We did not let the pandemic stop us, despite the fact that most of us have no technology background. We learned how to do it all on Zoom. So you still got it. So before we start the next 100 years, we're having a big old party at Hummer Park. As you have heard, it is Sunday afternoon, this Sunday, 4 o'clock. You are all invited. If you can RSVP at our website or at our Facebook page. If you forget to do that, come anyway. We just want to make sure we have enough cupcakes. Anyway, thank you all so much. This is a great honor. Thank you so much.
what a wonderful way to start off our meeting this evening. And now we have the honor of introducing one of our newest colleagues, and I believe Director Porter. Come on up, and we will introduce Justin to everyone here this evening. Welcome.
I think we both need this a little higher. Good evening, Mayor, trustees. Tonight, I am absolutely elated to introduce our newest village planner, Justin Malone. He has been here just under a month now, and he's been a really good addition to the department. I think village planner Phil Green is happier than I am that he has someone to tell his jokes to and dump his work on, but that's a different conversation that I'd have to have with him as a sidebar later this week. But anyway, Justin comes to us. He's a Michigan native. Let's see how much of this I get correct. He's a Michigan native. He obtained his bachelor's degree from Wayne State University. He has a master's in urban and regional planning from the University of Texas at San Antonio. He has held several posts in Texas. You were a city planning intern with the city of Leon Valley. And you also held an internship as well as secured a planner position with the city of San Antonio as well. Okay, so you see, that's how much I like you. Remember this. So again, he is excited. He has a great sense of humor. He's a quick study. He's ready to dig his heels deep in the in the facilities project with the police department, as well as the future public works department development, the zoning code update, which is a huge project for the village. He is excited about, as well as just other projects that we are working on in the department. So again, I would like to welcome Justin Malone. Thank you.
Wonderful. On behalf. Justin, welcome on behalf of the Village of Woodridge and my fellow board members and I. We're very excited to have you join our team here, and we wish you the very, very best. And what a start. I know you started a month ago, so it's been quite busy. We hope everything is going great and that you'll be here for many, many years.
Yes, thank you. I'm very excited to work with everybody. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
All right.
Congratulations again for joining us. We're going to pause just for a moment and acknowledge any written public comments that have been received prior to our meeting this evening that do not relate to tonight's agenda, and we would enter those into the public record. Going to ask staff if there are any members of the public present via Zoom this evening.
Mayor, we have two written public comments, if I may.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. One is from John Dank and is regarding our friends and guests who are here this evening from the League of Women Voters, reminding us of their event on Sunday, August 8th at 4 p.m. at Hummer Park in Downers Grove to kick off their 100th anniversary year, all right? And then the second public comment is from a resident regarding yard waste burning in the village from Margaret Zielinski. And that has been entered into the record. And also copies have been provided to the board. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will now ask if there are members of the public present via Zoom this evening wishing to comment on any item not related to this evening's agenda.
Mayor, there are not.
Thank you very much, Trevor. Going to ask now any members of our audience here this evening if you would like to make a statement or a comment regarding any item not related on tonight's agenda, please. Okay, seeing no one, we again thank you for being here. We will go ahead now and move to comments that are related to tonight's agenda. Going to ask the same questions if there were any members of the public that do wish to address the village board on items that are on this evening's agenda. Also pause to acknowledge any written or public comments that we have received prior to the meeting regarding any item on the agenda.
Mayor, we've received no prior written public
Thank you.
comments.
And I'm going to again ask Trevor if there are any members of the public present via Zoom that would like to make a public comment on items relating to tonight's agenda.
Mayor, there are not.
Okay, thank you so much. So we have something this evening under the omnibus agenda. And Sam, you probably will chuckle at this maybe, but we have no items under the omnibus this evening, none. I don't know that that's ever really happened in quite some time. So anyway, we will go ahead and move right along from that. So we'll go to the mayor's report first. And thank you again for being here this evening, ladies, and good luck on Sunday. Have a wonderful anniversary picnic. So tonight I'd like to provide some community updates since the June 20th tornado impacts on our community. The tornado caused extensive damage to Woodridge. According to our Woodridge Community Development Department and their assessment, 31 of our neighbors' homes sustained significant damage and will require major reconstruction or will need to be demolished and completely rebuilt. In addition, 150 homes have significant damage and more than 400 homes have some damage. The tornado impacted so many areas and so many neighbors throughout Woodridge. Another important next step for the village was that we needed to look and reach out with regards to our replanting efforts, which are truly key in our community. For more than 30 years, the Arbor Day Foundation has named Woodridge a Tree City USA community. The Tree City USA designation is significant in that Woodridge is a community, and is also committed to having a viable tree management plan and program. Unfortunately, the damage assessment shows that the tornado destroyed more than 300 of our community's oldest and most beautiful public parkway trees. In addition to numerous tree losses on private and Woodridge Public Park District property, the Woodridge loss is significant throughout our community. Woodridge is committed to replacing the parkway trees and in helping our residents with their planting efforts. The Village Partnership with the Morton Arboretum, the National Arbor Day Foundation, and the Illinois Department of Natural Resources are keys in helping us bring trees back to our impacted neighborhood and for the quality of life for our neighbors and our entire community. The many volunteers, the fundraisers, the monetary donations that continue to help our community in our tornado recovery efforts are key in this as well. Woodridge is fortunate to have many agencies and nonprofits that are more than willing to lend a helping hand. If you are in a position to do so, please consider donating to the Woodridge Rotary Tornado Relief Fund. And consider attending our fundraiser event, which information will be coming out tomorrow, and it is actually on our screen. It's called a Woodridge Do Good Barbecue, to be held on Wednesday, August 25th at Seven Bridges Golf Club. Starts at 5 p.m. and dinner and entertainment will be provided. It's just going to be an amazing evening all the way around. We are fortunate to have Phil Rogers of NBC News Chicago as our MC. It just should be a wonderful evening, and we hope that you, if you are able to join us, that you'll consider coming and being part of a wonderful effort and do good effort for Woodridge and our neighbors. The Woodridge Board and the Village of Woodridge and I are so grateful to our first responders, our public works and our mutual aid partners, and all of the volunteers as our community continues to recover, rebuild, and replant. This issue of our Focus on Woodridge newsletter will be coming out shortly, and we'll go through more specific information, and it will be a clear summary of how Woodridge police officers and fire department members responded to life-threatening situations the night of the tornado, as well as all the excellent works by our team members in public works. And the list goes on from there. Another note to please mark your calendar is for an upcoming really spectacular event, which is the Park District's September 24th and September 25th, the annual Woodridge Oktoberfest. Information will be coming forth from the village shortly, and I do hope to see everyone there. So on behalf of our community, I want to again say thank you to all of our neighbors for volunteering and lending a helping hand, to all of our colleagues throughout the village for going above and beyond and helping our neighbors, and to our businesses that have continued to show their support and help out anyone in need throughout our community. We do have a Neighbors Helping Neighbors event this weekend. It will be held at Woodridge United Methodist and Prince of Peace Church in Woodridge. Both will be set up to help our neighbors in need, and hours and information can be found throughout notices and information that we've been sending to all of our neighbors that have been impacted by the tornado. Right now, our list of impacted neighbors is about 150 families. So I wanted to be sure to give some updates, let you know as a community how proud we are to work together and to celebrate our neighbors helping neighbors. It's just been tremendous, as well as to talk a little bit about the next phase, which is our long-term recovery work that will be done throughout Woodridge and on behalf of all of our neighbors in our community. So that is my report this evening. Going to ask Administrator Stonich for his report, please.
Thank you, Mayor Cunningham, members of the board. Good evening. First item A is the second quarter financial report for the village. And Assistant Finance Director Darren Clary here is going to provide that summary. Thank you.
Good evening, Darren. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, thank you for having me this evening. I'm going to go over, see here, let me load up our presentation. All right. So I'm going to give an overview of our quarter two financials. This does include January through June of 2021, and we're currently sitting at halfway through the year. We're going to start off with our general fund as we typically do. Through June, the general fund has seen higher revenue collections compared to this time last year. This is somewhat pre-pandemic still, given the lag in some of our revenue streams. So to see revenues slightly higher is a good sign. Revenues through the second quarter are over $10.6 million. The biggest drivers of this is our real estate transfer tax and our income taxes. Thanks to the elimination of the 5% reduction that the state had on that last year. On the expenditure side, expenses are also just above $10.6 million, higher by about $352,000 from last year. Revenues are, since revenues and expenses are almost the same, we do have a very small, under $2,000 decrease to our fund balance so far this year. We have a few I want to point out that are revenues that are a little bit under where we were last year, or under some underperformers. Sales taxes, just about $80,000 lower this year, which puts us pretty much in line as to last year. The sales, keep in mind that the sales tax, there's a slight 3-month lag. So for example, we will not be receiving April's activity in 2020. It doesn't come until July. So when you do that comparative this year, we're still not apples to apples quite yet. Utility taxes are down a bit from 2020, about $60,000. And we are just continuing to see a decline in some of our telecom taxes each year. Charges for services are down about $17,000, primarily due to development activity slowing down a little bit. And of course, our interest income, as we can all imagine, our bad market environment, we're seeing diminishing returns there until that picks up. So a few overperformers is use tax. These are taxes made, basically sales taxes that are made out of state. Exceeded last year's by about $136,000. We expected this as the new legislation is more and more online sales taxes are being reaped by the recognized, recorded, and reaped by the village through the state. That will go up. It will transfer to sales taxes very, very shortly here. The real estate market does remain strong, as we do see a very large increase in our real estate transfer tax of $232,000. And our state income tax was also exceeded last year by about $630,000, as you can see on the right there, for the reasons I had pointed out a few minutes ago. In further good news, this 5% reduction that was eliminated last year, there was a 10% reduction that was on the governor's proposed budget back in February, and that is not part of the state's FY22 budget. So we can look forward to better income tax revenues. General fund expenditures. Personnel is down a little bit due to staffing levels. Transfers are about $840,000 higher than FY 2020, mainly due to the monthly police pension transfers that we are now making, again, on a monthly basis as opposed to an annual contribution. Capital is up due to technology upgrades, about $40,000 for our village boardroom. For our water and sewer fund, most of the revenues here are based on user fees. Revenues in the water sewer fund total about $5 million, a little over $4.9 million. Fairly consistent with last year, a little over 2% higher. On the expenditure side, just under $3.8 million so far, halfway through 2021. We are $150,000, that equates to $150,000 higher than last year, excuse me, and it's primarily due to some outstanding AEP energy invoices in the tune of $53,000. And we also have a couple capital items for water main replacement in Crabtree Creek project. Looking at revenues, one of the overperformers in this fund is our capital improvement fee. Again, just like reported in the first quarter, this is due to the capital improvement fee increasing from 30 cents to 60 cents per 1,000 gallons of water usage that was implemented this year. We have two revenues not doing quite as well. They are smaller dollar amounts, connection fees and interest income. This is due to development activity and again, a bad market rates that we're getting right now. Water sewer fund expenditures. The majority of the expense categories are extremely close, as you can tell, to last year. The increase in capital, as I had already mentioned, there are a couple projects that we have going on. Capital projects fund, speaking of, our second quarter revenues are totaling a little over $1.8 million. It's slightly less than last year by about 1.6%. Expenses are totaling over 1.5. 213,000 of that so far we have spent on the capital, or excuse me, on the facilities project. This is not debt service related. And the total fund has increased by about $300,000 due to revenues over expenses so far this year. We do have several other smaller funds, and I did summarize them here. I did highlight orange where we have some variances. I'll just speak to that real quickly. Motor fuel tax fund, we have from 1.1 to 1.6 million from last year to this year. That is largely due to the Rebuild Illinois grant. I believe it was $365,000 we received for those, and you're seeing that increase. We also see the $32,000 forfeiture fund from the state for our state drug fund that you're seeing there. On the expense side, this is mostly for the MFT fund. This is mostly due to seasonality. We did have almost $1 million, I think, expense in July that you'll see on next quarter's report that will get closer here to our budget. The charitable contributions fund so far, this is interest made from our CDs primarily, and expenses will occur a little bit later in the year, as I believe the mayor distributes her scholarships and awards. Social service areas. This is basically on kind of an as needed basis, excuse me, very little activity so far this year. And our debt service fund is due to, we basically make two payments a year, February and August. So February's payment was made. You're seeing the influx there. This will true up by the end of the year. Where are we sitting with cash and investments? Well, we're just sitting just under $52.9 million. This is about $283,000 less than last quarter. 90% of our portfolios does consist of your more non-liquid assets, CDs, investment funds. The village does hold a diversified portfolio as no dictated by state statute. We have about $17 million in CDs, as you can see on the pie chart to your left. About 6.7 in municipal bonds, $1 million in money market funds, and $21 million in investment funds. This is Illinois funds and IMET primarily. Just looking a little bit at our interest rates related to CDs specifically. Right now, our investment rate of return is 1.4%. The reason it's so high is because it's a blend of previously good interest rates combined with current poor interest rates. You do see that we have a laddered approach to our CDs, and when you average that out, it becomes pretty even among our 0 to 3 years. There's a third bullet point here. The third bullet point, you'll see that rates for a 3-year investment are now about 0.15. I think that's a little bit higher, so I apologize for that. I think it's a little bit inaccurate. I think it's closer to 0.2 or 0.3%. Either way, it's very, very unfortunate market rates we're earning here this year. Oops, excuse me. So where are we at in summary? If we could sum this up in a couple points, I think we're doing really well compared to last year. We're starting to see expenses match budget now that we're in construction season. One thing that we're watching closely is sales taxes. Again, this is both capturing online sales tax and capturing the home rule portion of that online sales tax. So that is a big point that we're going to keep monitoring, and we're seeing pretty promising results on. We're also seeing, again, income tax influx from last year, which is something we're keeping an eye on. 2 weeks ago, we submitted for the federal ARPA funds. We do expect, as according to DCEO's website, we expect half of our $4.5 million to come within 30 days. So that's coming very quickly. Those funds can be used, as a reminder, those funds can be used on, again, this is according to DCEO's guidelines and direction, lost revenues, I should say, passing of information from DCEO, from the federal government. Lost revenues, residential and business assistance, and infrastructure related to water, sewer, and broadband. We do plan on putting these dollars into a accessible money market until the board provides direction on how we're going to use those funds. Do I have any questions this evening?
Thank you very much, Darren.
Sure.
Excellent presentation. Any questions from board members at this time?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next item B is Resolution 2021-74. It's a resolution to approve change order number 1 to the agreement between the Village of Woodridge and Schroeder Asphalt Services, Inc. for the 2021 asphalt patching project.
If I could please have a motion to approve resolution 2021-74.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Page. And a second.
Second.
Thank you, trustee Martinez. Any discussion on this item? Our clerk would please call the roll.
Aye.
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 Last item this evening, item C, ordinance 2021-21, an ordinance permitting a temporary COVID testing clinic located at CVS Pharmacy parking lot at 8645 Woodward Avenue.
Please have a motion to approve ordinance 2021-21.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Blair. And a second, please.
Second.
Thank you, trustee Krusek. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. With no other active agenda items, anything new or unfinished to come before the board? Seeing no one, I do have a special thank you this evening. Goes to our assistant to our village administrator, Trevor Bosek. Trevor, congratulations to you, as you have just accepted a position with Hinsdale, and they are very fortunate to have you. So it's one of those bittersweet moments where we're very excited and happy for you, and you're so deserving of this. But we as a community, we will miss you, and all of us here and your colleagues throughout the village. You know, I just have to say that very happy for you and your family, truthfully. And I was pleasantly surprised when I heard that you had volunteered and happily agreed to come back every year for our new annual parade, as well as running our 65th anniversary. I couldn't believe it. I was just pleasantly surprised. And, you know, we'll have to take you up on that, Trevor. Anyway, you know, we're teasing, but whenever we have a parade or a big anniversary, we are going to think of you and remember you, and very fondly for all the extra efforts and all the hard work you put into everything that you do, and just how you help your colleagues throughout the village. It just means so much. And in 7.5 years that you've been with us, you've made such a tremendous impact on every person, as well as our community, and as well as all of us. So we thank you very much, and wish you the very best. And we'll see you when we have our next parade.
Mayor, it's been my absolute pleasure to work for the Village of Woodridge. You always have a very strong place in my heart. I'm glad to have been a part of the team, to work alongside the great staff that works here and to work alongside the elected officials, yourself and the rest of the village board. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. And I can say honestly, Woodridge proud, Trevor. So congratulations again. And we'll see you shortly for our parade. Anyway, please, everyone throughout the village of Woodridge, stay safe and please follow all guidelines that are coming before us. We hope you also stay connected to us. Very important. We thank you all so much for your continued good works and support throughout our community and helping our neighbors. Stay strong, Woodridge. Thank you. If I could please ask for a motion to adjourn the regular board meeting as we have no further business to discuss this evening. Motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Was that trustee Chris?
Yes.
Thank you very much. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, trustee Martinez. All those in favor, please sign aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion carries and our meeting is adjourned at 7:40.